Okay, I know my voice doesn't sound the best, but seeing as how people are completely freaking out over coronavirus and whatnot, and how stores are completely sold out of basic household supplies, i.e. disinfecting wipes, toilet paper, what have you, all caused by mass panic, if so, I'd go ahead and show you a quick and dirty way to actually just make your own wipes. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, actually, let me do this first. So, all you're going to need, paper towels, something to put the wipes in when you're done. This is literally just a cleaned out container that some disinfecting wipes came in. Something to measure with, distilled water. You could probably get away with tap water, and a disinfectant. Actually ran into that Odoban disinfectant at Home Depot today trying to find wipes, to no avail. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the active ingredient in disinfecting wipes, it's basically benzalkonium chloride. Officially, and I don't know why they use this name. Let focus for a second. Come on. Officially, it's known as dimethylbenzoammonium chloride. I looked it up. It's benzalkonium chloride. Same stuff that they use as a surgical antiseptic. A surgical antiseptic before they clean your skin before they cut you open. Furthermore, it's approximately 2% benzalkonium chloride, with the majority of the remaining other ingredients being water and fragrance and other stuff that's not really important here. Pretty much the same thing with what the with what the wipes were originally. They were about 0.5% benzalkonium chloride, so you're going to use a little bit less of the disinfectant. Now, this is a concentrate that officially says to mix 7 ounces of disinfectant per gallon of water. I don't need a gallon of the disinfectant solution. I'm actually going to make about a liter of the stuff. So, doing the math, 1 liter is approximately 1/4 of a gallon. So, rather than 7, I'm going to make about 1.75. I'll rerun the numbers, make sure I got the math right. But this is about 5 times too concentrated to be an equivalent for what the wipes were. Therefore, I only need to mix about 0.35 ounces per liter of water to get the desired disinfecting power, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to go get a measuring cup that can actually measure about 1/3 of an ounce, because this one starts at 4, and I'll be right back. Alright. I will say I'm not a big fan of the eucalyptus smell that it comes with. Wish they had a scent-free version, but did the math. 0.35 milliliters comes out to 2.1 teaspoons. So I'm just going to put in 2 teaspoons. So, and I'm trying to do this with one hand and shoot with the other, so bear with me. Okay, so that's literally all the disinfectant we need. Now, the next step is to fill it up with a liter of water. I'm using deionized water since it's essentially chemically pure, or about as close as you can get to chemically pure for a consumer product. I bought this at CVS, or Giant actually. So, yeah, just gonna fill it up with a liter of water. And grab a spatula works. And just stir it up for a little bit. Actually, that's overflowing via the handle. Let me find something else to put it in. Bear with me 1 second. Alright, I'm back again. So, I'm basically doing this completely as a hack job, hence using a bottle or an empty bottle of iced tea that I've rinsed out as a container to shake the solution around to agitate it. Just empty bottle of pure leaf sweet tea. Just rinse it out with water, then give it a quick splash of distilled water, and you're good. So benzalkonium chloride is the active ingredient here. Right now, there's no issue getting it at like Home Depot, just not in the disinfecting wipe form. Right now, I don't have any plans to make benzalkonium chloride from scratch. Sorry, I was mainly because I don't know how to. You know, I know how to make isopropyl alcohol. That's done via the hydration of sulfuric acid with propene, not propane, propene. And needless to say, I have neither of those on hand, so I'm not going to be making isopropyl alcohol anytime soon. An alternative you can use is ethyl alcohol, aka ethanol. That is literally beer or wine, the type of alcohol you drink. So if you really wanted to have a bit of a joke, you could kill Corona with Corona beer. And if you ever brewed beer, you know how that's done. You basically put sugar and yeast together. Yeast consumes the sugar and converts it into alcohol, which it basically excretes as waste. And it turns out ethanol's toxic to most microbes. So, yeah, I'm going to give that a few minutes just for the suds to kind of die down and collapse. Then we'll actually make the wipes. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half, and as you can see, it hasn't really had any of the suds die down. One of the other, I guess it's died down a little bit, maybe half. I'm guessing one of the other ingredients they have in the wipes is an anti-foaming agent, which doesn't really serve us any good, it just speeds up the process. So the next thing we're going to want to do is take some paper towels and put them into the container, just dry. Since they're a bit wide, I'm actually going to take a hacksaw and cut the roll in half horizontally, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, not the cleanest cut. It's a hacksaw designed to cut through wood. It's not going to give you a nice smooth cut like you would with a, well, if you had a press shoving a razor blade through it to cut it. But, you know, it's good enough. You're making this by hand. It's not going to be commercial quality. So now I'm going to put a bunch of them in the container. Probably 70 to 80 individual squares. And then we'll put in the disinfectant. Alright, I've popped the lid off. Actually, before we do that, we're just going to put a little bit of solution in there. I don't have a precise measurement here. This is where things become decidedly unscientific. But just pour a little bit into the container. That's probably more than I'll ever need, but alright. So now I'll go and stick the paper towels in. And I have to do this one step at a time, stopping the camera every time because I've only got two hands. I'm shooting this on a Samsung A50. I don't have a professional setup or anything, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, since the paper towels are quite a bit thicker than the actual cloths that they made the original wipes out of, I couldn't get anywhere near the same amount in. I got about 30 squares into that. Now, over time, as in the next few hours, capillary action is going to draw the fluid out of the bottom up towards the top, assuming there's enough fluid in there to begin with. For those of you who may have forgotten from biology, for me that was back in 2009, capillary action is the tendency for liquids to be pulled upwards through a porous material such as a paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and actually accelerate that process. I'm a little bit impatient right now. By pouring a small amount over paper towels. Still not a fan of the scent they add to it. But, yeah. So now we wait for it to absorb into the paper towels, and then they'll be ready to use. So, yeah. Nothing too complicated. It's basically just this solution, and then mix it with a paper towel, and you're done. Like I said, sorry for the quality. I don't have a professional setup to do this. And frankly, I decided to do this basically on a whim on my drive home after spending about 3 hours looking for cleaners. So hopefully this whole endemic blows over in a couple of weeks, if that. Hopefully sooner. If not, so be it. It's annoying, but what can you say? So, yeah, disinfectant wipes made with about 10 minutes worth of actual work. Have a nice day.